Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Sumit Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state specialist, and I help you feel your best and perform your best. Today we're talking all about maintaining one's patience, okay? We've heard it before, patience is a virtue. Is it really a virtue? Absolutely. Patience is the opposite of anger. You've got to understand that though patience might be bitter, its results can be much sweeter. Really start to understand that your patience comes from your own relationship with time. If you are constantly rushing to places, or if you are constantly on some kind of a deadline all the time, you're not going to truly embody this feeling of patience. Because ultimately, when you look at it, patience is really about having a deep sense of trust, a trust of yourself, a trust of the environment, and a trust in the higher power of the universe. And all three of those combining together to create a time distillation where you can allow whatever energy needs to transmute or change or adapt in that moment as it should. So what do? You play the waiting game. I kind of got reminded to do this video today because I just came from a restaurant and we were waiting for like a solid 45 minutes and then another 30 minutes for the bill to come. It was just like, wow, you know, it's like we stayed there for a very long time waiting for our food. And you know, what was very interesting is the staff members there, they seemed to be very concerned and they kept over apologizing. You know, that type of apology where you're like, I'm so sorry sir, I can't believe it, you know, even your bill was late, I can't believe it. That kind of taught me is like, hey, look, you're in this predicament as well, right? Like, and it's not exactly your fault too. Like, it might be your kitchen, right, who's not bringing the food, or you're getting distracted or whatever it is, right? There's all these other factors there. But then, guess what? Got a free property chop with the meal. To save us trouble, they gave us a complimentary on the house meal. Now this is powerful to note, and all good restaurants do this, by the way, okay? They give you some bread, they give you something else as you're waiting for your food. They try to be hospitable, they try to have good service. However, if you yourself are impatient, and you start telling them every 5 minutes, like, where's my food, where's my food? They're gonna get pressured out, you're gonna get burnt out, and nothing's gonna get solved. So literally what you have to do is just step back and just observe what's happening. Don't make an impulsive, rash decision in that moment. Just observe and notice what is happening. Now I want you to really key in on your top senses. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What are you touching in the very moment? What are you smelling? Basically, let all of your senses get activated and enjoy waiting. That's the big key. That's the big key for patience, is you got to enjoy the waiting game, the delayed gratification, okay? You know you're gonna get 2 marshmallows instead of 1. There's a sweeter reward for me to back out of this, okay? Now, oftentimes, you know, we grow up with certain personality types too. So maybe you grew up in a household where everything came to you immediately, okay? And that, you know, you handle problems just very quickly, and you don't wait, or you don't, you know, have some patience or do things in that particular way. So that's about changing your habits, right? That's about changing your current habits and how you used to respond into how you want to respond, or your ideal self would respond, which is through using patience. So patience, as described through the whole Vajrayana tradition, and I'm reading from, you know, Geshe-la, and, you know, learning from my dad. He's a a Buddhist teacher, practitioner. You know, what's so important is that we have a reminder of patience in our daily life. So even just the word patience somewhere in your room, okay? Maybe near your mirror or next to your desk as you're working. We oftentimes forget to become patient, okay? When we are seeping in anger, or we need things to happen impulsively or immediately, or we feel this sense of stress or frustration if it isn't happening right then and there, we've got to tap into this energy. So patience is described as a virtuous mind that can bear any suffering. Really understand that, okay? It's a virtuous mind, but it allows you to bear any kind of suffering. Okay, it's the mind of solace. It's the mind of safety. To endure our pain, we need a good enough reason. We oftentimes don't give meaning to our pain that is beneficial to us consoling it. You see, without patience, we'll get super discouraged and push away all sorts of tasks. You've got to play this game with a kind of abandon, okay? Let's say that you're getting impatient and you're playing sports. Stop focusing on winning or losing for that moment. Stop focusing on the end result for that moment. Concentrate on playing properly. Play the game as best as you can. Concentrate on playing properly, okay? That is what is going to ultimately help you. But if you're trying to skip to the end of the video game, or if you're trying to fast forward through the entire movie, you're gonna get back into this impatience and this rush. Another thing is we oftentimes will confuse our intellectual understanding with our experiential understanding, when two are very different things, right? The more clarity you have, the more patience you're going to get. The more obscurity or absurdity that the world gives you, the more impatient you will get, okay? Because your mind will always try to conclude things, okay? Your mind loves to search for answers and get towards a specific kind of certainty. It's trying to make order out of chaos all the time. And so within that chaos, if you're not adding some level of a structure or some level of a discipline or some level of setting boundaries, you're gonna be washed up by your emotions, okay? And you can't be having that. You see, your emotions are a tool. They're a guide for you. They're not supposed to be your worst enemy. They're supposed to be warning signals for us in order to tweak something or do something or get closer towards where we want to go. I mean, some people would argue and just say that, oh yeah, patience is just waiting for something. But really, patience is waiting for something with a good attitude. And there's a big difference, okay? When you're waiting for something with a good attitude, you're not getting frustrated, you're not getting irritable, you're not letting those different things put you on this kind of flaw-seeking tailspin, as one of my past clients said, right? Instead, you are grounding yourself. You are settling yourself back to your sense of self. You see, when people are in a very negative situation, they just want a way out. Any way out that they can. But when you have the luxury of choice, and I use the word luxury of choice instead of freedom. Freedom reminds me of disorder, okay? And luxury of choice is another word which I really love, because you're getting the choice to do it, man. You get what I mean? Like when you have to do something, oh yeah, I have to do it, right? It's like society's pushing you to do it. Your parents are pushing you to do it. Some outside agent, some outside external force is pushing you to do it. And it doesn't feel inspiring. It doesn't feel like you have any agency or choice. And so you're getting angry and frustrated. But what if you choose to do that thing? What if you get to do that thing? You have the opportunity to do it. By reframing your words, you can get more patient with yourself. Instead of immediately concluding, this is what this means, you allow yourself to go on a discovery mode and explore. Maybe this is what it means, but maybe it doesn't. Let me explore. Let me wait with a good energy. Hey, you might be like Sonic the Hedgehog in your daily life, but not everybody has the same pace as you. So having the compassion to understand that some people are generally slower, right? Some people just generally walk in a slow pace. They live life in a slower pace. Maybe you're living life in a very fast pace, and that's not matching up with the rest of the world. This could be a case that could really frustrate you. But you've got to underline your uniqueness, the fact that you have this speed, and you proceed with speed, and you make things happen very rapidly. That's actually a great thing, and you should celebrate that. Why are you, trying to have other people fit into your agenda, right? Stop trying to fit into other people's agenda. Like, honestly, if you're good at what you do, if you're a person who excels at their work, hey, other people have got to come and match you. You don't have to go and lower your expectations of yourself and make your performance lower just because everybody else is doing a crappy ass job. You want me to dilute my skills and my work ethic? Right? That just makes no sense. So once you have a good relationship with time and you make time an ally, you don't make it an enemy. If time is your enemy, you're gonna constantly feel like you're playing catch up. If time is your friend, you're gonna get those little pockets of extra time where suddenly these incredible things happen for you. And with the right amount of patience, the universe, or God in this case, give you a gift that is so grand just for waiting with a good attitude. The good attitude is a very important thing, right? So like, let's say you're waiting, but you're complaining as you're waiting. That's not patience. Yeah, you're waiting, but you're frustrated, you're infuriated, and you're just letting... Now, sometimes you can use your impatience as a way to deflect another conversation. Like, let's say someone's trying to sell you something, and you go, you know what? My food hasn't been here on time. I'm not feeling that great. I don't like the service that much. You have a justification now, okay, to say no. A lot of times we don't have any justification. We're just like, no. It's important that when you are patient, you're not also over-explaining yourself, okay? A lot of people, they try to make sure that everyone's safe and everyone's good, and they just over-explain things. They just keep explaining things over and over again, instead of getting clear with their communication. You got to understand that your clarity of your communication is so valuable. If you're ever experiencing impatience, there are a couple of things that I highly recommend that you do. Number one is chew gum. And chew the gum really, really slowly. Don't speed through that gum. Masticate, bite down, okay? Even if there's mastic gum, if you can get some, just chew down on it. Allow yourself to bite down on it. Bite down on it. Bite down on it. That's gonna be super helpful. Another thing that I've noticed is I notice the tension in my body. The more irritable and impatient I become, the tension gets worse. Usually I notice when I have to handle some kind of a big responsibility, my shoulders get activated, because it's like we're carrying someone else's burdens, right? It feels like we have the task that somebody else is meant to do, but then we're handed the task and it feels like we're carrying it, and our shoulders get really activated. This is metaphorical, but the body keeps score and it shows up in these strange ways like this. So, maybe clench your shoulders up and then just slowly drop it down, and just clench whatever part of the body that you're feeling tension, and then progressively relax it, okay? This is very, very powerful. Another thing is just to find the humor in the situation, man. Laugh it off. It's not as serious as you think it is, honestly, okay? If it doesn't matter in 5 years from now, stop zooming into it, okay? You gotta look at the bigger picture at times. Oftentimes, we get so trapped in this one chapter, this one moment of how bad it's happening right then and there. But then this too shall pass. We don't understand that it's a temporary state in that very moment. Tell yourself a different story in your mind that's different from the perfectionist story that you have in your mind, that it's supposed to be like this, and it's supposed to look this way, and it should be like this, and I have to do it like this, and I must. These words that you're using is getting you more impatient. You see what I'm saying? You got to actually look at the world in such a way, perceive the world in such a way that makes you patient. The universe will handle it. Everything will unfold as it should in the right time. All right, give it another 15 minutes. This kind of speaking to yourself in this way will make you way more patient. And as you practice this, as you get more level-headed, your friends will rely upon you to be the patient one in the situation, to handle things. If push comes to shove and it's really bad, go to Sapient Medicine, okay? It's a great subliminal frequency platform on YouTube. Just type in Sapient Medicine and type in patient, kinder there's one called Become a Patient, Kinder Person in All Ways. Just listen to that song daily, okay? Keep listening to it daily. That's really gonna help you with your patience, because that sound, it does incredible things. It just makes you see things for what they really are and not like some exaggerated scenario that we might create in our own minds, right? Of what it could be. Because we're afraid of the fear of what it could be, and so we get impatient. But then how it really is might not be as bad in reality, okay? Now it could be pretty fucked up for you too, okay? I'm not denying that. But what I am saying is give yourself an opportunity to try on this new persona, this new patient persona, being a calmer, kinder person. Hey, there's some times where you gotta act and you gotta know, let's go. I'm ready for the conflict, okay? I'm ready to go, I'm ready to fight. Yes, you are in fight mode, but you also have a restraint, a moderation, a temperance, and that's what makes you a stoic monk. If you are impatient, you'll be more easily manipulated in situations, because someone could say some random thing to you can trigger you and set you off, right? That means people have like almost a missile pointed at you, or they could do XYZ over here and you'll move XYZ over there. You see? So you're like a puppet in the hands of your emotions. Whereas if you take control and have some emotional intelligence, and you can actually calm yourself, that's the best thing ever. That's what you're gonna need. You have to get good at regulating your nervous system through your breathing patterns, okay? If you're breathing very fast and rapidly up in the chest, just slow it down. Breathe into the belly, reverse breathing, okay? Or take a very deep double breath in and hold that, right? There's so many things that you can do, and I work as a practitioner to help you with these things, okay? I help you tap into the zone. So I hope this video helps you out today. Hope you have an incredible day. May the flow be with you. Stay legendary. May we never be the same again. Os.